Good afternoon, all. I'm Mohamed Selou from the University of Sierra Leone. I'm presenting on behalf of the Research Methods and Statistics Group. Our set goals after pedagogical intervention, use of technology in teaching and learning, application of learner-centered method, use of innovative assessments. So those were the three set goals that we had after the intervention of pedagogy. Use of technology in teaching and learning. We use use of e-case, e-portfolio, presentations using PowerPoint, use of videos in teaching, use of WhatsApp, use of emails, use of open education resources. So those were the technology we use. We all know exactly that those ones are all related to technology. Application of learner-centered methods. So we had class discussion, group work, field research, especially collecting primary and secondary data, role plays, simulation, especially you want to do modeling and focus group discussion, resource persons or guest speaker in particular, policy actors or researchers or statisticians. So those were the learner-centered methods we used. I don't need to talk about all of them. We all know exactly what it entails. And finally, in our goal, we have to use the use of innovative assessments. And personally, I like the way the e-portfolio works, especially when you want to assess. You want to get you always create an area wherein you get the views of the children, the students when they come to your class. You want to know what motivated them, their background, and also you can give assignments. All of that, it's ways of assessing them. We also did cases, and we have class presentations. Those were the ways we assess our students after pedagogical intervention. So the use of technology in teaching and learning. So what were the challenges and what has worked, and what were the challenges and how we overcame the challenges. Use of e-case, there's a challenge of limited cases. That's especially in the area of research and statistics. And we developed more cases. That is, we are advocating that us and PEDAL, we should develop more cases relating to statistics and research, especially those in that area. And the e-portfolio. And we have a challenge of incomplete e-portfolio. As we saw from the statistics that we did yesterday, or the survey, that only 20% actually did complete the e-portfolio. So that's incomplete, that's the challenge, and we're requesting for more training and in designing e-portfolio. Presentations using PowerPoint, where limited equipment in some universities. So we're saying the institution should provide at least the equipment necessary for PowerPoint presentations. Use of videos in teaching. We said in use of video, that's always connectivity. You might want to use a video and teaching, especially if you are not able to download, if you don't have an app to download the video and use it offline, and then you want to use the video online, then you might be constrained with internet connectivity. And we said we should focus on development of contextual videos. Some videos that you take, maybe it's different context, and you want to relate it to the context that is in your domain, so it's difficult to do that. So we're saying we should overcome that one. We should focus on developing contextual videos. Use of WhatsApp. Yeah, that one also we saw that some students, it's difficult to get smartphones, and especially data, to smartphone and data. Because normally in our classes, we always encourage students to create a WhatsApp group, and at times I just send my PDF files of my work if I want them to do a reading assignment before our class. So we have a challenge of limited smartphones and data. So we are asking institutions to make it a requirement and even a loan scheme, so that student can pay and then you can get a smartphone. So you give a smartphone to a child, and then you at least make it as a requirement, or you let them pay, through a loan scheme. Use of email. The challenge is internet connectivity. We are also requesting that institutions should provide at least connectivity so that you can get broadband, and then we can access that. Use of open resource, open education resource. So we said data availability, that also is a constraint, because if you have to get so an e-resource, you definitely need data to, and we are saying institutions should subscribe. They should subscribe so that the children can use that. Application of learner-centered method. So we said what works was what the class discussion, and the challenge is the class size. So if you want to, like, if you have a very large class that you have like a 500 or some 250 students in class, that's a challenge. But now we're saying we can overcome that with the use of what? E-learning. E-learning. So if with reference the technology, then if you use e-learning, then more space and then human research. So we're saying because there are large classes, there's need for classes to be split so that we can get more space, and that's infrastructure, and we can overcome the challenge of large classes and especially class discussion. Group work. We have free riders. They don't want to work. So we're saying it's always a challenge. Some want to rely on others to do the work, and then they can't get the grade easily. So we're saying the presenters must be selected at random, as we saw in the presentation that the last time, that the person that will be presenting must not, you just choose random. You can use random methods of choosing just one person, and then the person is going to present. So if the person is not well prepared, that person will be scolded for not doing the good work and not being a part of the group, and his colleagues will blame the person for not working. We have field research, especially primary and secondary data. We said community and institution fatigue. Often when you go to a community, well, last year there was what? Research. What has been the development? What is the change? You're always coming to ask us these things. So and even time, it takes some time for you to do or gather short data. So we're saying we want research among what student institution. So normally for me, I often tell the student, because most of the students they are working the civil servant, I said, okay, do something. I can coin my questionnaire in some form, do your research in where you're working, and then if I'm interested in demographic characteristics of the workplace, and then they can do that so that they can come run some simple descriptive statistics of their work. And then role plays, we have role plays, okay. We have simulation, focus group discussion, and then, so there we say come up with what? Good scenario. So especially in simulation role plays, at least you need to design a very good scenario. And those ones are difficult to access. Some role plays wherein you assign role, maybe it's not in line with what, especially in statistics, wherein you or research, assigning role plays to different. So then that's if the scenario is not ideal, it's going to be difficult. So coming up with what? Good simulation also is going to be difficult. And then teachers, we as teachers or lecturers, we should go extra mile to at least formulate a very good and scenario for especially simulation and role plays. We have also the use of innovative assessment. So the e-portfolio, as we all know, that's an incomplete task, and then we need more training in design. The cases, we have limited cases, and then we should develop more cases with reference to our context. And then class presentation, at least that one is a bit better. We don't have much of it because you have to guide the students at least how you want them to present, as the case may be. Yeah, lessons learned. We know that e-portfolio can work for all classes, and case for all small classes, it's very, very preferable for small classes. And then PowerPoint presentation for all classes. And then class or group discussion it's good for small classes. If you have a very large class and then you want all of them, you can capture most of the things. So that's what we learned. We are progress. So we said the use of technology in teaching and learning, which is one of our goals. We fail with that, and the application of learner-centered method, we are good in that one. And the use of innovative assessment, we are also good in that. This is the trend. This is the trend of our movement so far from June. As you can see, the goal and then the months of the year, and so you can see that at least in our group we are growing, and we hope to climax, because we have not. The lower limit was like 1 to 5, and we are just, no one has, at least the average has not exceeded 4, and so we want to see come succeeding years, or we can move on more, okay? And then those are the months. I want to say asante.
Thank you so much, Research Methods Group. Any quick Comments, feedback?
I saw the trend analysis. I begin to wonder where the database, baseline data for which this was established. So it looks like a data mining thing. It's good. And I want PEDAL to take cognizance of this so that since the program is ongoing, so when we go back home, we should try to see that, yes, we qualify these things for future analysis. So we don't just come here and just... Thank you.
We are live from the Sarova White Sand Hotel in Mombasa, Kenya, where the AAU TV is partnering with PASGR to cover the annual convening of the PEDAL expert and then also facilitators as well, and also a bit of the MRPP program. And so we are recounting the stories, the success stories, the aha moment of lecturers, teachers, facilitators throughout the PEDAL training that has been going on in Africa. And we are privileged to have some participants who will be taking their key feedback as well. So stay tuned, relax, and enjoy the best of our interview sessions. My name has always been Kusisa.
Okay, I'm Remi Ayede. I'm a professor of political science from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria.
Great. So, Prof, you have been a facilitator for the PEDAL training for some time now.
Yes.
What will you share with us?
Well, I must say that before I became a PEDAL trainer myself, underwent some training, which has helped a great deal in improving the quality of teaching and learning in my classroom at the University of Ibadan and elsewhere.
Okay. So before PEDAL, you have been teaching for years, and now you know the PEDAL. What is the difference?
Yeah, I think there's a huge world of difference between before and after the PEDAL exposure. I've always considered myself as a good teacher, but after going through the PEDAL training, I realized that there are lots to learn if you really desire to improve on your teaching. That although teaching can be a gift, but it's a gift that needs to be refined and developed over a period of time. And the interesting part is that teaching as an art and teaching as a science has moved a great deal in terms of innovation, in terms of the evolution of new strategies, new methods, and the redefining even the essence and goal of teaching and learning. And as a teacher, you need to be apprised of new developments concerning teaching and learning in order to continuously improve on the quality of the teaching and learning experience in our various universities. I must say that one of the first things we need to know is that as we grow in our career, we're also supposed to grow in our competencies in teaching and learning. Because most of the time in the university, we focus on research, even though we know that a university, most of the time, is not supposed to focus on research alone. Teaching is the other side of the coin. But most of the time we focus on research because that's where you really find meaning. And then again, it is in your publication that your career advancement depends. But really, there's also a pathway in career development as far as teaching and learning is concerned, which can, in fact, add value or reinforce our growth in research and development. And that is why it's important for us to take advantage of the opportunity that PEDAL is offering.
Great. One key thing or one key trend that academics are seeing and expect is that because of the publish or perish syndrome,
yes,
we have a lot of our academics focusing much more on publications and research much more than teaching. Has it become a problem in our university, and must we change?
I think it has become a problem, and many universities are actually changing. In Ibadan, for instance, there has been systematic effort to integrate teaching competencies and growth into the career advancement part. In fact, there are specific criteria relating to teaching that you need to meet in order for you to earn promotion at various levels. Now, what we find in the case of PEDAL is that we are beginning to see that even our research can benefit from our reflection on teaching and learning in our classroom, because what we also find is that teaching and learning in our various disciplines, doing research in teaching and learning in our various disciplines is integral to the kind of research that is accepted for publication, for promotion consideration in our university. So we therefore gain doubly when we pay attention to improving our teaching and learning and trying to move beyond practice into translating what we have practiced into some form of knowledge that others can benefit from.
Wonderful. So you are a facilitator for one of the models.
Yes.
And can you
pedagogical practice.
Okay. So then what will you share with us in that model within the next 1 minute?
Yeah, very importantly is to say that leadership is expressed and manifested in the classroom, in the teaching and learning process. And that if you are not conscious of the leadership role you play as a teacher in the process of teaching and learning, then there will be a huge gap, in trying to bring out the best from the students. Because if teaching and learning is inherent to the pedagogical environment, then the way you do your teaching, the values that you express, the skills that you manifest are inherently leadership skills that you are supposed to demonstrate by example to your students. So if you are not conscious of that characteristics of the learning environment, then you are not able to consciously bring out those qualities in your students.
Okay. One of the key things that came out throughout the session had to do with the fact that we need to focus on learner characteristics, yes, which is very important. Yes. But do you think that every student must go through the 4-year bachelor? Are there students who can finish faster, and are there students who may need a lot of time to complete a session? Must we have that variation? Well,
usually students who come to a class don't come with the same level of intelligence, they don't come with the same level of experience, they don't come with the same level of preparedness, they don't come with the same level of exposure. So if you are a teacher and you just engage the class on the assumption that they are of a particular level, then you will be making a grave mistake. And that's why a good teacher, one, is a good listener. A good teacher is very sensitive. A good teacher is the one who tries to make the learners realize their potentials and see beyond, what they currently know about themselves. And that's why a teacher must be sensitive to this diversity in class. And one of the things we also talk about in PEDA is that a teacher must recognize diversity and try to promote inclusion, in the process of teaching and learning.
Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us. Great. All right. So we just listened to one of our facilitators, and he facilitates the pedagogical leadership session or module under PEDAL. We are still gathering feedback and then also interviewing our guests, participants, lecturers, and some members as well. Stay tuned. This is AAU TV. My name is Kwesi Sam.